007, everyone. This is Zyron, aka Axis 0096, with another take for probably among the first 5 systems. This is part 2. I say we'll get up to the first 10 or so systems of Star Citizen beyond Pyro and its other friends. In our last episode, we recorded the environs around of Stanton. We mentioned that Stanton's already pretty much done. Pyro's soon to come out now in third or fourth quarter of this year, 2024, hopefully. Magnus has received a water bottle that was briefly mentioned in my last video. Hadrian was also mentioned. Nyx was mentioned. Castro was mentioned. And I believe, what was the other one? Castro was mentioned. Odin was also mentioned. If I can find it. Where's Odin? Okay. Odin here. So, we're still in this region of space. There are still systems connected to Pyro that are, albeit a lot less likely, and especially to other places in Star Citizen at the moment. And there are reasons why. Okay. So, with Pyro still as the hub, we go this way to one of the more likely systems for now, which will put us closer to Sol by about an entire jump. This takes us to the Kano system. I don't think I talked about this last episode. This is Kano, which has 4 planets and a relatively stable Sol type star. It's a main sequence G type star. Okay. Its inner planet, Kano 1, is a hot mesoplanet, tidally locked, that is incredibly hot. If I remember straight, hold on. Okay. According to data, hold on just a second. There we go. Kano 1 says it's a tidally locked planet that orbits its central star. It is an abundance of crystalline formations running along its crust on the dayside terminator, caused by oversaturation of molten material flowing toward the day side of the world. Extra material is ejected as it cools and helps to continue the growth of these beautiful structures. Unfortunately, the inhospitable environment makes visiting these unique natural wonders very difficult, quite difficult. Kano 1 has literally been called a tourist trap in recent years, with those visiting the planet to get a look at its natural beauty frequently becoming stranded. With report of 3 deaths already this year, probably when it was posted, it is recommended for those wishing to enjoy the vistas to do so through a simpod. So they're not advising you to go too close to this planet. Indeed, it looks rather unhealthily close. Star. This is Cartiana, the closest planet to the star, or the second planet. Cartiana, or whoops, Cartiana. Oops. Cartiana is located at the edge of the habitable zone. It is a classic water world. Fortunately, its planetary axis keeps its northern hemisphere away from the sun, which allowed for the water to freeze into the landmasses used as the initial landing zone in 2587. Multiple attempts have been made to convert the thick atmosphere into something breathable, but the process never seemed to stick. In recent years, in fact, over the years, every time there's a new technological advancement in geoengineering, it's tested out on Cartiana only to yield the same results. Almost 50 years ago, which would be, the beginning of this century, in star system lore, scientists discovered microorganisms in the early phases of life in the depths of the oceans. This caused a massive uproar throughout the UEE at the prospect of attempting to terraform a developing planet. Cartiana was immediately placed under the Fair Chance Act. Unfortunately, well, fortunately for the colonists, humans have been living here for almost 300 years, and the families that had been there for generations felt they had earned right as residents. I agree. After years of debate in the political and scientific community, the population was allowed to stay, but under only certain conditions. Future terraforming attempts have been outlawed, and human population has been consolidated to a single arcology to minimize their impact on the environment and the development of whatever species is growing in the deep. So, Cartiana City is apparently beneath the ice cap and draws energy from geothermal sources. It is a landing zone, so who knows if we'll be able to land there or not. I bet we will, but I'm guessing you're going to have to be careful what you take there. Kano 3 is also very interesting. It's home to a small research station, it says, into terraforming planets. Yeah, that's all it says, basically. Doesn't say it has a landing zone, but we'll see. Okay. And then this planet has a name, Pox. Kano 4. Yeah, it has a name. This is Pox. It's a gas giant of reds and browns, and it suffers massive storms, some as large as thousands of kilometers. The Kano system is more typical of the UEE. Again, it's basically like Nyx. A lot of stuff, scattered around. It has an asteroid belt for mining, Kano Belt Alpha. Oops. And the important thing is, this system is only 2 jump points away from Sol. So this would start us on the long track, hopefully, back to Earth. But I don't know if they'll go this direction from Pyro anytime soon. It is there, though, for us to go. See, from Kano, it's through Davian and then to Sol. So, yeah. That's pretty interesting. Now from Pyro, now from Kano, we go this way. I don't think I talked about this system last time. Go to Oso, which is a very unlike. I'm going to get this all out right now. Oso is a highly unlikely system anytime soon. Why? Well, there's a reason why. Oso has several planets. As you can see, it's a pretty big system. By the way, Kano was relatively similar in size to Stanton, 4.392 AUs. And it has 2 jump points, one to Pyro, which is small, and one to Davian, which is medium. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, Oso is, where are you? Oso. It's unclaimed. No, it's developing. It's classified as a developing system. This means around this F-type star, Oso is technically somebody else's backyard, not humans. Oso itself, the primary star, is an F-type star, very hot and stuff. This is Oso 1. It's apparently a lava planet. I don't read too much into it. Okay, it says this is a tidally locked world It's best known for its impressive viewing. There's nothing really worth extracting its impressive visual display viewed remotely. Yeah. Oso 2, however, is a tropical planet for people screaming, "Give me a jungle!" Here you go. This planet is tropical. It's a lush biosphere with a variety of distinct regions and climates. Oso 2 boasts an increased gravity much higher than Earth's, so I'm guessing this is a super Earth. The planet is mostly known as the home of the most developed primitive species ever encountered by the UE. So this is an occupied planet. Known as the Osoians, this multi-limbed race actively communicates with one another using patterned flashes of color generated by head-mounted chameleon cells. The human scientific community extensively lobbied for the chance to communicate with an emerging life form, and Osoian communication studies are ongoing today within the limits of the Fair Chance Act. Beyond the Osoians, the planet is also home to a great deal of lesser species, most of which have evolved to be entirely unlike anything elsewhere to date. Though direct study is a violation of Fair Chance Act, some scientists are able to receive permission from the UEE to establish off-world research platforms to study the species from afar or distance. These platforms are carefully supervised and are allowed only for short periods of time. So this right here is pretty much a very developed species. Homework. Oso 3, meanwhile, is a gas giant, which is green and it's a silicate gas giant, I believe. Oh. Is it? Yeah, it's basically a gas giant. Oso 4, which one is that? Let's see. Oso 4 is this guy. Is an uninhabited coreless planet. It's already been picked clean. I guess you can land here, but who knows? Oso 5. The 5th planet, largely uninteresting. This is basically an ice giant. Oso 5 is right here. Blue gas. Oh, shit. Shoot. Go back. Then Oso 6 is largely uninteresting. So Oso is basically a unremarkable system apart from its importance to developing alien life. I wonder if there'll be scientific related jobs to it, but we don't know. There's a lot of unknowns with current gameplay. We'll see. And after that, so we've covered Oso and what's the other? Oso and Kano. Castro we covered already. Terra, Terra I don't see. I'll cover Terra here in a moment. From Stanton. Now here's a couple of hinge bet systems. If they were to go the direction of, if they go from Nyx this way, in a similar fashion to Odin, away this way from Bremen, we arrive here at Bremen. This could be considered a Squadron 42 system, right? It contains Rytif. Here's the Nyx jump point that brings you to Bremen. It has 4 planets around, I believe, a K-type star. Bremen 1, at least right now, is a protoplanet that has a local superstition that apparently equates good luck to flying past it. Rytif is a rocky planet that is the home of Silas Kerner's Consolidated Outland, among other important institutions. It's also the breadbasket of the, basically, with, I believe, Terra Mills, if I remember the name of the place. You know, I think it's called Terra Mills. Let me double check. Where is it? Bremen is basic. Okay, Rytif. Rytif has one landing zone called Stalford. Yeah, Silas Kerner owns this planet. It retains a small town feel. The landing zone here is Stalford, and it's the headquarters of Collins Consolidated Outland and Terra Mills, who might be a company for you to do cargo with. They are a food company. So, I don't know if they're incorporating game yet or not. We'll see. Anyways, after Rytif, and also it should be worth noting the CDF is based in Bremen. Bremen 3 is a coreless planet, heavily mined over the centuries. There's little remaining here, so it's probably not worth a visit. And then you have Bremen 4, which is an ice giant that's risky to guess collect. Bremen is somewhat of a nexus point for military and such. If you notice, it has 4 jump points. One leads to Nyx, one leads to Vega, one leads to Callus, and the other to Tenga. These systems are pretty interesting. So, we'll see. So we've covered Oso, Bremen, and I believe Kano. One more, and then Terra. From Pyro, I don't think there's anything we can cover. What about Stanton? That'd be Magnus. Okay. What about... Yeah. See if we can get a smaller system. Almost to Souls. Let's try this one. I see no hint of them doing this system. Bremen. Well, this one is a possibility. After all, we've seen it in Squadron 42's opening salvo from afar. Welcome to the opening of the Vanduul front. Welcome to Vega. At the start of Squadron 42, the trailer we saw last year, here we are. We're in Vega, around Aramis, right here. This is where the opening dialogue and stuff starts for us. This is the Vega system. Very important system. If we go the direction of Bremen, this connects directly to Vega. We'll start with a star in the middle. The star is a G-type star. Vega 1 is a mesoplanet that closely orbits its star. Vega 2, meanwhile, is Aramis, a lush, verdant world. It's orbited by a set of planetary rings. Aramis was initially used as a military base when the Vanduul began their push after Orion. Recently, the planet has enjoyed an economic and cultural boom. Its population is expected to eclipse that of its sister world, Selene, within the next decade. It was pursuing recognition by the UEE when it suffered a devastating attack at the hands of the Vanduul, which we see right here. It has 2 moons orbiting it. It has Vega 2A, which is an inner border, is this reflective little moon. And then we have Vega 2B, which is a shepherd moon and gives it a sharply defined outer edge. So, From Aramis, we go to Selene, which is an industrial world in the middle of an economic downturn attributed to the ongoing threats of the Vandal attacks in the system. Many of Selene's city centers are only half the population they once were. Just outside Selene is a mining belt, which is Vega Belt Alpha. And after that, we have Vega 4. That is a ice giant, I believe? Gas giant. Reddish brown dotted with orbital fuel refineries. So this system right here is interesting. It could happen with the release of Squadron 42. Probably not initially, but definitely after Bremen, if it's announced. And look here, folks. Here's Virgil. Yeah. So, Vega. Now we're going to take a step back and circle back to Terra. This, I believe, will be the capstone of the first 10 or 12 systems or so. Terra, where is it? Darn it, it's way back here. It's basically the cosmopolitan capital of the Empire now. It has 4 planets and several moons. The star is called Terra Nova. It's a main sequence G-type star like our sun. It has a planet called Arrow, which is a mesoplanet with rich mineral deposits, but it's too harsh of a climate to easily extract them. Its inner moon is Petrum. It's a captured asteroid. And we have Petrus, which is an irregular lumpy moon with an inclined orbit, binary double moon. Pike is a lack of an atmosphere hasn't stopped the industrial magnates from descending on the vast mineral resources of this terrestrial planet. Thousands of mining ops are in near constant operation to help fulfill resource requirements for the system. Next door to it is Toja. Entirely locked, the far side of this moon has a heavy scarring from frequent impacts. After that, we get to the hinge. Well, not the hinge. We have Terra itself, also known as Terra 3. Upon discovery, this naturally occurring oxygen-rich base planet seemed like an untouched Earth, so they named it as Terra, as a reflection for the birthplace of humanity. Over the centuries, Terra has grown into one of the jewels of the Empire, becoming a political and cultural force. Home to the traditionalist political movement who believe that Terra better represents the future of the UEE than the current capital, Earth. Right. It has one moon, Ida, which drives more expressive tides than on Earth. Across from Terra, is the Hinge Cluster. It's rich in minerals, and it's been claimed by major mining outfits. And then just outside of it, the next planet's orbit is the Marisol belt. But before that, we have Gin. Gin is another super Earth, heavily terraformed. It's a major political military hub responsible for overseeing diplomatic missions and military deployments for this and the surrounding systems. And that is currently the 5 final systems that I think will make it into the first basic cut for Star Citizen. I think the first 10 to 15 or so. Oh. Sorry, my camera froze. I just noticed. Anyways, I hope everyone enjoyed. Thank you. Have a great day. This has been Axis. Yeah. And I believe this is Axis signing off.